Hey, what's up guys? This is Peter once again. I got another DIY for you guys with this 2001 Toyota Camry 4-cylinder XV20 5S FE motor. I'm getting a code of p0128, which is basically saying that the cooling operating temperature is below threshold, which usually indicates a bad thermostat. However, there's a couple ways to determine if it's really your thermostat. One, if your coolant level is normal, in this case it's pretty much full, it points towards the thermostat. Sometimes your coolant is low, and that also indicates that it's going to throw off a code because it won't operate at normal conditions. Usually when the thermostats go out, what happens is that they're stuck open. The thermostat is located right here in the front next to the oil filler cap. If you need to change your oil, it might be a good idea to go ahead and remove the oil filter and change your oil at the same time so you can access those bolts easily. 10 millimeter bolts. The thermostat is inside. It's quite easy to change out. Okay, and here's the part number that I have. Sorry for the wind, you guys. It's kind of windy out here. And don't forget also, when you buy these parts, make sure to use an original OEM part. And no, I am not endorsed by Toyota, but I do use Toyota parts. You guys have different opinions as to what works and what doesn't. In the past I've always been an aftermarket kind of guy, but I've noticed when I started using original parts, they tend to last longer, just like valve cover gaskets. Okay, so there's your part, 90916-03090, and don't forget, you gotta get the grommet with it. It does not come with it. I believe it's an extra $2 or so. And so all you have to do is remove those two bolts, and you should be able to access your thermostat. Again, what I've been diagnosing this car, maybe around every 70 miles or so, especially when I'm going on a downhill. Of course, when you're in a downhill, there's less stress in the motor. Then the check engine light pops up, p0128, and it says coolant below threshold. And another way you'll see is that your RPM usually stays at 1100 mark, where it should be around 700 or 500 depending if your AC is on. And so with it being hot lately, I don't want to take the risk, so I'm going to go ahead and change it. And at the same time, you could either drain your cooling system already. It's pretty much not a bad idea to do that as well. But I just recently changed my coolant, so I'm just going to refill it once I change out the thermostat. If not, if you're going to drain it, there's like a drain down here, depending if you have an aftermarket or an original radiator. But with me, being that it's an older car, I usually drain it by just pulling out the hose in the bottom. And to follow where your thermostat is located on any car, well, disclaimer, you might want to double check, but most cars, usually the thermostat is at the end of the bottom hose from the radiator. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take those out, and I'll show you some other stuff. All right, guys, so as you can see, I have put a pan in the bottom, so I'm not just letting it run off everywhere. And just to take this off, as soon as you take this off, be careful not to nick this, you guys. Very important, you just simply pull this out. Okay, it's tough in there. Give me 1 second. Alright guys, so I was able to take it out already. I just basically got my nails and I pried it onto the side, and there it is. So usually some people will use the same grommet. I don't personally recommend it. For $2, $2-3, it's not worth it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put the new one on the new thermostat. So this is the new thermostat right here. and here's the new one. Alright. Alright guys, another thing you want to look at is make sure it's the same temperature, 82 degrees Celsius and 82 degrees Celsius right there. Focus, boom. And you just basically put it back on just like that, and then you could actually seat it on the cap right here, and then you just put it back in. So you could do either way. It's really simple. And then you could just put it, sorry about that, so that you could put it here or put it there. Either way will work, you know, but I think it's better if we put it in the cap right here, because you'll notice when you guys do this job, it sits pretty flushed here, right over here, and you'd rather have it this way than you trying to fish it out and, you know, trying to figure out how it sits over there in the actual part that connects to the water pump. All right. Alright guys, so just like that, it has been put back. Make sure you torque these bolts according to manufacturer specs. That is my disclaimer here, because with me, I simply tighten it by hand. I know it's a bad habit, but that's how I do it. So there you go. I mean, I've done this many times, so I guess I'm okay in that department. And like I said, if it's time to change your oil, might as well change the oil, so you have this space over here. Now all I have to do is put a new oil filter there and refill my oil, refill my coolant, test it out. Make sure you hose all this area down, and that's pretty much it. Let's see. Alright guys, so now I have replaced a new oil filter, and I have tightened up the bolts like I said earlier. Now it's time to fill up the reservoir. What I do, you guys, this is what I do, okay? This is my way of doing it. I fill this with coolant all the way to the top, okay? And then that'll prevent any air pockets, and then at the same time I will start the car. But I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up as well, because I'm thinking I probably lost about half a gallon or so, because you know, liquid likes to get even, and I would say the radiator is still full 3/4 up, so I don't know, maybe a half a gallon or so. But then again, from the top it goes through here, down here, so those are probably all empty now. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and I'll continue on. Alright guys, so now that I have it filled up, I'm actually gonna wash my engine real quick. But then what you want to do is put the funnel like this, similar to this or whatever, and just start your car, turn on the heater and get it to normal operating temperature. You might want to watch your gauge, make sure you're not going past the halfway line. You know, you will need to get the engine warm enough to get it to normal running temperature so that the thermostat can open up. And so you want to, the reason why you want to have the heater on is because you want the coolant, the new coolant, to circulate through the new through the heater core and all that stuff, to fill out all those hoses and all that area, and get rid of the air pockets. So you want to leave this open like this, so then, you know, as the system fills up, you want to keep pouring in here so that you don't run out. And going back to it, that's the reason why I make my reservoir full, so then in an event that I miss something, then at least it'll take from there. Alright guys, so anyway, that's what you want to do. And you know, if you did the same thing I did, which is change the oil while you're at it, then you want to make sure that you have oil in your engine before you start the car, you know. And look, I got a spider right there. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I'm gonna wash the motor as well. It's due for, I try to wash the engine every time I change my oil. And you know, this is my commuter car, so I drive about 70 miles a day on it. So typical LA kind of car, back and forth, if anything, as opposed to everybody else. And whenever, if you guys have a thermostat cover that's plastic like this, be careful on how tight you tighten up the bolts, because you don't want to crack it. There are replacement parts for it that are aluminum or metal. And at the same time, you know, some people detach the hose. I don't. I just simply remove this clip right here to not put too much stress on the wiring here. You don't want to mess with the wiring for the air conditioning So that's how I do it. Anyway, so what you guys want to do is make sure that once it's hot and this is full and your system's on normal operating temperature, then you're done. And you know, you just observe the car, make sure it doesn't go back on the code, and if the code comes back again, then it possibly might be your sensor. You know, these thermostats don't really go out often. I mean, this is the first time I've changed it. I've already pumped, I mean, my car has 202,000 miles. So that's about it, guys. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Thank you for watching and subscribing to our channel. This is a family channel if you haven't noticed yet. Anyway, guys, going back to that old part, this is the part number 90916039090, original thermostat made by Toyota, supposedly. Anyway, guys, have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.